All right, hi and welcome in YouTube. We are going live tonight to do a write and design workshop using Canva. I am live over on Facebook as well. So hi YouTube, hi Facebook. Tonight it's going to be a really nice and fun, easy type of workshop. It's still Digital Inclusion Week. That's going to run through Saturday for us here at the Oak Hill Collaborative. Tomorrow we have a workshop first thing in the morning at 10 a.m. and it's going to be a social media marketing and content tools class. So if you like some of the stuff that we're going to do today, you would like tomorrow's class as well. If for some reason you're not necessarily as interested in doing maybe a children's book or being a published author and having illustrations with your work, you might like that class that we're doing tomorrow a little bit more because we're going to talk a little bit about like also social media content, big one of obviously, but we're also going to explore other content management tools tomorrow as well in the morning. Probably my favorite to do is a planning suite. Actually, it's called Millinote. It's a free application website and you can use it to store all your stuff. It has cloud storage with it, but also you can do planning, you can do trees, you can do diagrams, you can also do branding layouts as well. You can leave little notes for other employees that you work with. It's a really great suite and I'm going to cover that tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's going to be here at the Oak Hill Collaborative. But if you're just hopping in, welcome. Tonight we are doing a create and design workshop using Canva. Now, that sounds like a lot, but we're going to go through the medium of making a children's book tonight. And that's a really exciting thing for me, at least. I love publishing content. I love writing. I love creating stuff that is both mine, but also a resource for other people to enjoy as well. There's something to be said about having something that people can use and look at and enjoy and love and write with it, read with it, be inspired from it. I love the literary arts. It's something that I've always been a big favorite person of. That didn't make the most sense, but I'm better with written word than I am with spoken word. But if you are joining me tonight, thank you so much. Whew. First things first, it's 6 p.m. I'm going to switch over my Facebook Live so that they can follow along with us. Thank you. Take 1 second. Hi, guys. All right, so that should be a little bit better for my folks back at home on Facebook. Now, that being said, you're not going to see me anymore, and that is quite all right with me. I would prefer to do without being on camera. But this way you can still see everything that's going on my screen, and that's the way that I believe that you should be able to participate tonight. All right, going back to my YouTube crowd, I will admit my Facebook people, I would recommend if you would like to chat with me, if you have questions, hop over to the YouTube because I am going to be able to see that live chat a lot more easily. But if you have questions, you're still more free, then you can still pop them in the chat. That's okay with me. All right, so let's hop in. All right, so this is Canva. First thing when you pop in, if you already have an account, this is probably what it's going to look like. We have a couple different areas here within Canva. Canva is very well known for its almost Google-esque look at first. You have the search bar that's close to the middle, if not top area, where we can search templates, of course. We also have the side panel of menus over here where we could either create something that's a little exciting. We also have a home area, which takes us back to right where we were. We also have projects, templates, brand, and also Canva AI. I will say I am using premium Canva today. You can still kind of follow along with this if you're not using Canva Premium. The thing though is when you are doing like published materials, I really would recommend having I I would really recommend having Canva Pro. I would. Canva Pro, if you cannot afford it, you can do without it. You can. However, with that being said, It is so worth the dollar in my opinion. As somebody who is a content creator for social media campaigns, as somebody who enjoys creating literary work design, book designs, children's books casually as a hobby for my profession, I don't think I'd be able to go without Canva Pro. So if you have a small business, I would try out the free Canva plans for a little while. If you're realizing it's not really working for you, that's okay. You should consider upgrading though, because what Canva Premium has is so much more to it. So, underneath our search bar, we have a couple different types of content that we could make. It's really very simple the first thing when you pop in. If you're working with data, you would make a sheet. Maybe you're creating an invitation or a flyer. That's right here. Documents, maybe like a press release. If you just want to kind of mess around, there's a whiteboard option, presentations, social media, photo editor, video. It also has a video editor, which is really nice. For anybody who really struggles with using higher grade, I would say, video editing content platforms, Canva has a really simple one, and it's really, really easy to get into. I will admit that. There's also the printing options, which is a big, big option that a lot of people really use Canva for. And then there's also website, which is probably one of the ones that I'm not necessarily the best at. But today we are going to be making a children's book. And while this might sound a little silly, I'm going to hop into presentation. So the reason that I'm hopping into presentation is because presentations have multiple pages. Children's books have multiple pages. You kind of want to think about what the means are of what you're working with here. If you are working with something that is, it's a two-sided flyer, an invitation would work fine. You could also search through the millions of templates. So if I take a second and I just look through children's book template, that's a really nice idea. There's a couple different options here, but something that I'm noticing is that these are all singular pages. If you are just making a cover for your children's book, this is a good page. However, if you were making and designing a children's book from scratch, we need something that is multiple pages. So, let's see if I can refine this a little bit. Nope, not really getting any better results. If I just type book, would I get any better results? Nope. All right. So it looks like we are going from scratch today, people. I'm going to go back up to that presentation that I have, and this is our canvas. So Canva's name orients, it comes from the orientation of canvas without the S, of course, but it's more focused on you actually creating things using their products that they have in here. So, something you'll notice is we keep that left hand side panel, and that's something that you will use a lot. Almost anything that you put on your canvas is going to come from this left hand side. And that's really nice. If you go back up to design, you're going to see that there's options for templates that you could use. So if maybe I realized I wasn't doing a very good search for, a children's book, if I wanted to still use maybe a pre-animated, preloaded template, Canva has those in here. Some of those are really, really nice. Granted, I'm not doing a sales report. So you have to think about what template you might want to start with to utilize for your purposes. You also might notice that a lot of these have this little crown in the bottom, and Canva says it best. It's a premium template. It's included with your Canva Teams plan. So today I am using, premium. I have a team plan with our organization. And so you will not be able to use this as it is if you do not have the premium version. You will be able to open it, but a lot of things are going to have like the little like lines that this is a premium option, almost like a stock photo would have if you take it from like Getty Images. They have those copyrighted lines that you're not allowed to use them, and we know if you use them. This is something that's really cute. This is something that gives me a little bit of inspiration, you know. Something to notice about a lot of these templates is that the multiple pages have very similar art styles, yeah? So if I was going to write a book about maybe different ducks that are all in a school together and the lives that they have, and have some really meaningful stories for these guys, I could do that. I could take this presentation and basically turn it into a book. Granted, I'm not going to do that today. We are going to make one from scratch, but that's just an idea that you can use. I am, however, looking for something with stars. I am. I have the idea that I want to make a children's book about stars and planets. And it may load. There it is. All right. So I do want to start with a template just because I want all of my pages to look a little similar. Granted, I'm going to change these a lot. I am. So this is called Universe of Smiles, Delightful Collection of Space. A lot of these templates do have really simple little text that comes with them, and we are going to use those a little bit. So these are my guys. I'm going to bring them a little bit more up in center. And my book today is going to be about solar opposites attract. I'm going to move this up. This is going to be my byline. This is going to be my name text. And then I'm going to put my name. And this is already really cute. This is already something that you look at and you go, yeah, this is something that's well put together. And Canva is really good at that. And that's why I really recommend a lot of these templates. I am, however, going to get a lot of this background stuff out of here. I'm going to keep those little guys. I'm actually going to get rid of those little guys. And then I am specifically going to look for a moon. I actually want a cartoon moon. Canva really does have a lot of really useful icons in it. And then how does that guy look? There may be a better guy in here. This is our guy. This is our guy. When you are choosing elements in Canva, you do really want to make sure that all of your guys that are in here, they look like they're of a similar family almost. Whereas this one has a completely different art style than the other couple ones that I have in here. So there is something that you can do. You can click on any element that is in your project. You can click on these more dots. And there is an info that my face is blocking right now. But there is an option for info in that pop-up that comes up. And you can see the title of this work and this element. And you can see who created it. And this is a really important thing because now I can view other things that this artist has made and put in here. So if I just wanted the sun by himself, I don't have to edit that. I can actually delete that and put the actual sun in here. And now I'm going to put the sun in here. And now I have my moon. And this is really cute. This is really, really cute. I'm going to make sure that that's centered. And then I'm going to put that down there. And I'm also going to look for maybe some little stars that this artist has made and put them in there as well. Because they're just so cute. Then what other stuff do they have in here? I really like the little Saturn guy. I really, really do. So I'm going to make the little Saturn guy really small. So that way your focus is still on these two characters. When you are designing any kind of work, you do want to make sure that you have almost a level of importance in your books. That's not just something that goes for saying like literary arts as well. You want to have a level of importance laid out. So if I'm writing a novel about, this moon and the sun that really like each other, I do not want to have this Saturn guy be as large as he is, because you assume that he's a large part in the story. Granted, I will make the Saturn guy a part of our story because I like him. And he's very cute. Um, but he's not a super big player. Looking at some other elements that I can drag in here. It's a lot of Christmas stuff. I'm going to grab this planet and make it pretty small as well. Canva is also really good at layering. It's really important that you have, different layers of objects layered on each other. Because this is a meteor, that should be way smaller than all the other stuff. But I do want to replace my O with that meteor. You can show the layers, and I'm just going to put this on top. And that's kind of a cute idea. All right. You can also search manually all of the stuff that this creator has made as well for elements. So if I want to look up planets in particular, if I do a search in that search bar, while still in this in this person's elements that they have created and uploaded, it'll show me all of them related to the search and inquiry, which is really helpful because my moon guy, I'm learning, does not have a lot of options here. But these are options that I can use in my story, right? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start retyping some text. If you already have a children's book already laid out and written, this is where you can copy and paste that text from your document into this. Granted, I am creating one from scratch today, which is a lot, if I'm being honest. That being said, I have a lot of work for me tonight. If you have a document with all of that text already laid out in it, this is going to be great for you. All you have to do is copy, paste, drag it over, follow that text. So I'm just inserting some text real quick. Something that's really, really useful for children's books in particular is having introductions for characters. You don't have to always do it, but something that's really useful for children's books is helping children associate names to characters. So here I'm saying, let's meet Sunny. Sunny leads the planets in the solar system. Sunny loves keeping everyone in line, following the plans for each set day. I don't know what I was typing there. Following the plans each day. Following plans each day. I'm going to make the text smaller. The thing about children's books is you really don't want text to overwhelm readers. These are kids for children's books, right? As children start to get older, we lean more towards text and text and text. Um, but not all children learn well with just text. So, especially for younger age groups, make sure that you're focusing more element style, which is what makes Canva so great, especially for this workshop, is we can make sure that we have a lot of elements in here. And I'm going to do myself a favor, get rid of these elements that I've already gotten rid of in the previous slide. Copy and paste a couple in again. There we go. Granted, you do not want to have these in the same place all the time. So I'm going to grab this little asteroid guy. Kind of make that actually a little bigger. What other options we got here? No, I think that's good. I think that's good. I like the little star guy. I do. I'm going to throw another little star guy in there. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I love the little star guys. So I'm having some difficulty moving my little star guy. There we go. Ignore that. You know what? Father and son little star guys. That's what I've decided for this. Father and son little star guys. They're so cute. All right, so meet Sunny. Sunny leads the planets in the solar system. Sunny loves to keep everyone in line, following plans each day. Sunny enjoys when things are bright, happy, and filled with sunshine. So I've given you a description of Sunny, and that's great. So there's something that's to be said here, though, is there's a lot on this page, right? We have text, we have the sun and the solar system, we have stars, and we have an asteroid. I'm going to include an arrow because I want to make sure that children who read this book can associate sunny with the sun. That's something that's really good. That it reinforces, learned, mechanics in children's learning already is that we're associating name with what the item is, right? So sun, sunny. So I'm going to get an arrow. And I'm going to get a nice arrow. I don't want something super blocky. This is a children's book, of course, but something that's, cute, kind of graphic. That one's kind of cute. I would recommend if you are doing print materials not to use GIFs or like these kinds of images that are moving because they are not going to print right. If you do, print your materials, that's not going to be something that's easy to handle. I'm going to take this one. It's almost like the same colors as, our Jupiter over there. So I think that'll work well. So meet Sunny. And that's cute. That's so cute. All right, so meet Sunny. That page is done. Sunny works the mornings. So Sunny works the mornings. Sunny is an early bird and loves to work morning shifts. We don't need that comma there. My bad. They get up bright and early each day and fill the world with light. So now I'm reinforcing again something else that's really important for children's books. What these objects that I have created do, especially for young children, helping younger children understand, like, okay, so I'm associating the name with the item that it is, and Sunny does what the sun does, right? That's really good for reinforcement for children. It really, really is. All right. So next, I'm actually going to duplicate this page. Next, I'm going to introduce the moon. The moon. So I'm going to delete these real quick. I'm going to take all of these elements that are over here and I'm going to move them to the side because I want these two pages to be opposites, right? Moony. I'm actually going to go back, take this element. I want to go to info because I want to go back to that creator. And I want all of the moons that they have made. And I want to make sure that all of these objects that I'm adding in here are about the same size as each other. Kind of wish there was like a sad moon. It's a very interesting request to have. But there probably is one in Canva. If there's not, we will make our own here, people. We will. All right, I'm not seeing one. So let's go back to info. I want to see more by this creator again. I'm going to search for moon. And I'm going to take the blank one. Something really nice about having blank options with Canva is that now I can go back to this element search bar and I can search for a sad face. Right? And I want one that looks like it would work well for Mooney. And there's a lot of really interesting options. I have to keep in mind the faces that I've already added in here. So something like this one wouldn't work well because it doesn't match that art style that I have going for me right now, right? That one doesn't do bad. That one's not bad. It's a little large right now. Something that I don't like is that the eyes and mouth are too far from each other. So I'm going to take both of those elements, crop them, and make them look like they belong a little bit more in here. So now that looks like it fits into this art style a little bit more. So by page 4, I'm trying to set up a little bit of a story here, right? Like, the idea of storytelling elements is that you want there to be meaning for children out of this, right? We want children to have a takeaway. So I want children by the end of this book to take away that, just because somebody is different from you doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. That means that there's just something that you need to learn about that person, right? So I'm kind of setting up a story where Mooney and Sunny have things to learn about each other here. They do. Gonna drag some elements back in. I'm gonna bring my little Saturn guy back in. Um, Very cute, very easy, very simple to make, right? That's what we want Canva to be for us. We want it to be simple. We want it to be easy. We do. So we have this little setup here. Sunny works the mornings. Mooney does not. Mooney works night shifts. So I'm continuing to type. I'm continuing to try to maybe make these scenes that are on these slides fit my story to the best of my abilities, right? Going to copy these elements. Going to insert our character Mooney. I'm going to go back to all of the elements that this person has made. I'm going to search for planets. All right. Going to take those little facial elements is actually what I want more than anything here. And I'm actually going to block out the face of this little guy. You can do this with almost any element. As long as you do a real simple little trick. I'm going to take this eyedropper tool that can be accessed from like our color chooser. And I'm going to make this element match the color of this form of the moon. And I'm just going to cover that up right there. And that looks pretty normal. And I'm going to take this element, going to fit this on here. And then I'm going to bring this layer. Oh, I'm going to bring that layer to the front. There we go. And I want this to actually be the planets, right? So I've got to go back into those planets. I got to show info. I've got to show this creator. And then I want to search for planets again. I mean, I need this to kind of follow what they actually are. So before Earth is Venus. So I'm going to choose one that kind of looks like Venus. This one's yellowy. And then I should also choose one that looks like Mars. And because they're planets, I'm actually going to rotate this guy. I think it's cute that I like to think that the planets, like they orbit, the sun. So I think it's cute if this guy just pokes his little head out a little bit. And I'm going to make Venus rotate a little as well. And just clip it into the page. Reinforcing science that children learn in school. So Mooney orbits the Earth, right? I am not good at typing tonight. I swear I'm way better at typing than this. We're making a lot of really silly mistakes in typing tonight, and that's okay. So I'm reinforcing things that children learn again, right? So all the other planets orbit Sunny. Mooney really only can talk with Earth about his feelings. So now I'm setting up kind of like character dialogue, right? I really want to try to get to character dialogue sooner than later. This is great because I have two elements here that I can use. Get rid of this one. Earth. So now I'm trying to set up some dialogue, right? We rarely see each other. I need to remind myself of when the moon blocks the earth. It's an eclipse. It's an eclipse. That's it. Okay, that is spelled right. I have been doing so bad at spelling tonight. It's been bad. It's been a long day, but I didn't think it's been that long. So Moony and Sunny only speak during an eclipse. How long does an eclipse last? They vary, don't they? Yeah, how long does an eclipse last? A few minutes to several hours. Okay. Only for a few moments. That works. I'm really curious what kind of graphics are out there for an eclipse on here. We can do some of these. Yeah, we can use some of these. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are working with children here. I need the other kind of an eclipse. The other way, the other way. Nope, that's the same one. There we go. This one's the one that I want. So I'm going to make this smaller. Notice that I'm trying to make sure that all my page layouts are a little different. We want to try to keep things fresh for children. Children do lose their attention spans a little bit quicker than we do. So I'm trying to keep these pages short, easy to read, but also I like to vary them, right? I'm going to make this a little bigger. Going to like move all of my elements up. That should be good. All right. I'm going to go get my Saturn guy because I do want him to be a part of my story. I love this little Saturn guy. I really, really do. One day, the suspense is killing me. All right. So now I have some text in here. So now I'm trying to set up as not almost quickly, but now I'm trying to set up the fact that we are going to like start to get to like the climax of our story, right? Like an eclipse is coming. Oh my god, an eclipse is coming. I have to talk about these things that I'm scared to talk about, right? That's kind of where we're at now in the story. We need to have some progression made. So now Mooney is a little nervous, right? Mooney is a little scared. And that's okay, Mooney, because we're going to get through this together. This is a children's book. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You don't. I would actually say that for a children's book, I'm using fairly. I'd say I'm using actually like really like big words, like strong diction. And there's a little scared face. There's a little nervous face. And then I'm gonna get like little blush marks. Blush makeup. Gonna get these little guys. These little guys are cute. All right, and I'm gonna put that on Mooney because Mooney's nervous, right? And we blush when we're nervous. So Mooney is nervous. Mooney has these little blush marks now. That's cute. All right. Yeah, we're making progress. All right, I'm gonna grab some of these other elements that I've had in here, right? I'm gonna get this star guy. I'm gonna get this little Mars guy. I'm gonna bring them back in. Yeah. Going to put them closer together, actually. Yeah, that's cute. I'm going to make him a little smaller. And then I'm going to go get those little asteroid guys. I like those. Those are cute. There they are. Just trying to make sure that there's stuff on every page, right? Whoa. I don't like that guy. I want info. I want the creator. I need Earth back. Earth. Yeah. I'll no longer see Sunny. I'll typo again. I keep making so many typos tonight. So with the eclipse, Earth will no longer see Sunny. And Mooney becomes brighter. I'm actually going to choose a different Mooney. Yeah. Up here we have another area of like menus almost. When you click on these, you can do a bunch of different stuff. I'm actually going to make Mooney really bright. Going to alleviate the contrast there a little bit. Oh yeah. Mooney is bright. I'm actually gonna go to my other slides and make Mooney actually a little bit darker. There we go. That one's okay. That one's okay. This one I want to make him a little bit darker. Okay. Get rid of these. Let's bring Sunny back in. Gonna make sure that the text fits around Sunny as well as it can. Gonna bring Mooney back. Yeah! Stop, they're so cute. They're so cute. I'm actually going to flip him. It doesn't feel like he's facing him. Sun and moon. Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. Sunny says. Going to duplicate this page. All right, so the two have become friends. Sunny and Mooney cannot talk forever, but they have already planning their next eclipse. So that's our story. Yay! We've done it, right? We've written our story. So this is very simple. This is very simple. Normally, if you're doing a children's book, you're going to want this to be probably anywhere between like 24 to 36 pages. There is no correct answer. Your book is how long your book is. I'm not going to tell you that your book is too short, but I would recommend your book be longer than this. This is a very short book. And if you have children who are probably up to like age 2, this would probably be okay for them. But children who are like maybe as old as like 5, you should have more content here. But for the sake of the matter of this being a recording session, this is our book. We have completed our book. Yay! We have started out, we've gone from, solar opposites and they attract. We met Sunny. We talked about Sunny, we talked about Mooney, you know, how they get along. Mooney is sad, but the earth made him feel better. And then we talk about eclipses. So we're talking about like learning things with children one day. An eclipse is kind of scary, but Mooney is brighter now. Mooney is happy. We're gonna make the center a little bit. And this is a really cute side actually. I love this side. Sun and moon. And then the two are friends now. I do want to get rid of his little sad face. Yeah. So the two are friends now. Yay! All right, and they'll see each other one day. All right. So printing. Printing is really, really important when it comes to Canva because if for some reason I wanted to, maybe not publish this book online, but I still want to provide it to my grandchild after today, you can download it. You could download it. I'd say preferably would be as a PDF. You would download this. You would go into your downloads and you can print this at any printer. Easy option there. Very easy option. You could also, if you're doing maybe like a kids' night, you could also present this. So if I wanted to present this, and like have like a reading night with kids, I could sit down, present my book using a presentation, right? And be like Solar Opposites Attract by Elizabeth Koss. It has all these cute little animations like meet Sunny. Sunny leads the planets in the solar system. Sunny works mornings. Moony works night shifts. The other planets get along with Sunny more than Moony. They see each other more often. But Moony orbits the Earth, not the sun. But the Earth is lively, Moony and the sun only speak during eclipse. This is something that you could do for like a children's night. You could. But if you are going to get into publishing, if you want a hard copy of this book, you are going to have to do brochures probably, if I could spell it. If I could spell it. You can do notebook. There's a lot of options within Canva. There really are. There we go. Booklets. There we go. It will resize your thing though, which isn't always great. Granted, you can go in here and set some settings up as well. If you want more than one booklet, if you want it to be just a few pages, you can go in and you can change that. You could also do, you could also do photo booklets. This one would probably work a lot better for the template that we're using. They do require at least 22 pages to print, I'm noticing now. But that's not a bad thing, right? I did say that this should be probably closer to 22 pages. What does the notebooks look like? I'm curious. Oh, that's cute. Okay. All right. Another element with publishing is you would want to look into KDP publishing. You would want to get this probably launched on Amazon. That would be your next step. But if you're just using this for something at home, this works perfectly fine. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this workshop. Like I said, if there is anything that was kind of like, I don't want to say confusing, or you were like, I need a little bit more help with that, I would really recommend our class. It's on Saturday. We're going to be using Canva for social media content. We are going to look at other content marketing tools that are out there as well. With using Canva, we do have a beginner's Canva class. I believe it's the 21st. You are more than welcome to check our website, confirm that that's the case, that that's the day that class is. Please visit our website at oakhillcollaborative.org. All right. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can give our office a call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 at 330-406-0731. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great rest of your night.